Hi everyone, Annette Kessler here with a new video tutorial, and today I'm going to show you how to make 3 different paper house embellishments for any project that you want. So first we're going to stamp a house on a black paper or cardstock. This is just a stamp that I have. If you don't have a stamp of a house, you can find an image of a house that you like online and print it onto your paper. Now that I have my house, I want to create a pattern of bricks. So I took a cardstock scrap and just cut out some bricks that will look like a wall. Now I'm going to cover the windows and then put my stencil on. This is the stencil that I created. And I'm taking a little bit of ink and I'm applying the ink onto the surface of the house to create an image or a look of bricks, of a brick wall on the front of my house. And this way there are no bricks on the windows and doors because I just cut some papers to hide them. Isn't that cool? Okay. Now I'm going to take some 2 shades of red color pencil and color the roof. So basically what I'm showing you is that you can take an image of a house or a stamp and simply add some touches to make it look even better, more colorful with more details, more artistic. Then you can add this house to any scrapbook page, mini album, card, a homecoming, celebration, whatever it fits, and your house will really look cool. Cutting out the fence. This specific house is going to go on a scrapbook page. I'm coloring the edges. And this is how it looks on the page, on the final page. You see the house, you see the grass, the bird, the flowers. Thank you for joining us in this great and it looks much better with all the details that I've added. Next, I'm going to show you how to stamp little houses to create a small village on an art journal page. So I have here 1 stamp of a house, and again, if you don't have a stamp, you can print it out on the computer. And I'm simply going to stamp white cardstock or white paper with a few houses because I want to have a village, but now all the houses look the same. So basically what I'm going to do is add some color and details like I did previously on the house before. I'm using gelatos. They're types of crayons. You can do it with colored pencils, markers, other types of crayons. I'm just adding different shades to the houses and applying a little bit of a wet paper towel or a baby wipe to smear the color around. I'm also adding some details to the roofs of the houses, again with the same gelatos. And then the houses will look much better with the details that I'm adding. So basically, if you want to upgrade any stamp that you have, adding color and pattern is the best way to upgrade your image. Now I'm going to cut all the houses and then arrange them on my art journal page to create a little village. And I'm not going to cut all the houses. Some of the houses I'm going to cut only a part of it. It's going to make sense, I promise. Because I want to create a village, they're not all going to be one next to the other. Some are going to be in the back. And this way we're going to create perspective and depth. So I'm adding my houses to the art journal page with some gel medium, and I'm adding them in different heights. And for this one, I'm only adding the roof. It's going to be peeking on the back like this. This way it looks like there are so many houses. So basically, this is another way of using paper house embellishments, and this time on an art journal page. Next, I'm going to show you how to create a really texture house with some snow on it. So I have here a chipboard house. If you don't have a chipboard house, then you can just print out an image of a house, trace it on your chipboard, and then cut it out. I'm adding some bricks with some modeling paste. As you can see, I've covered the roof. This is modeling paste that I'm adding onto a stencil to create a raised brick pattern. Once that's dry, it will look really, really cool. Going to remove the excess from the edges, and then I'm going to leave it to dry, or if you have a heat tool, it's even better to dry the modeling paste. And then once that's dry, we'll be able to add some color. Again, I'm covering the roof. I don't want anything on that. I'm spraying the house with a little bit of brown spray. I'm adding another shade of brown with some distress inks. And this spray is a little bit shimmery, so you can see the shimmer shining through. For the roof, I want to emboss the roof with white powder so it will look a little bit like snow. So I'm adding embossing ink and then white embossing powder to emboss the roof. And then with my heat tool, you'll see the embossing powder melt, and it will give it a look of snow. See the magic of the embossing powder? I really love this. Okay, so that is a little bit too flat for me. I want to add a little bit more texture so the snow will look a little bit more realistic. So I'm going to add a little bit of modeling paste just by tapping on the surface of the roof with my palette knife, and that will give it a look of snow. And the embossing powder will still be visible under the modeling paste. So we're going to dry that, and you see how you can take a very plain shape of a house and just add so many details on it, so it will really look pretty for any type of project that you want. And then finally, I'm going to add a little bit of glitter with silver embossing powder so the snow will be shining. Finally, I want to add a window and a door, so I'm just going to cut out a piece of cardstock, one for the window, one for the door. Again, this is something that I do by myself. If you have something ready like a sticker or a cutout shape, then you can do that. And I'm going to use my craft knife to cut out the panels of the door and the window. You can draw them first. I'm just eyeballing it. It's so small, and if the lines are not exactly perfectly straight, that's okay. It's art. We're making art. Everything goes right. So there's my door, and then I'm going to attach this to my piece of brown paper or cardstock, whatever you have. Just inking the edges a little bit. So there's the door. Once that's glued together, I can add that to the front of my house. Isn't that cool? I'm going to do the exact same thing with a window. Just going over the lines with the black pen so they will be much more visible. So there's my door. I'm going to add a window as well. Just eyeballing it, and I'm going to use my black pen to draw the window like this and add it. Isn't that cool? I'm going to use this house for a little mini album, and I really hope you like this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the little bell icon to be notified when I upload a new video. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.